Hi guys, welcome to TailBlaze. It's awesome that you guys are here. Before we start this, can you just please introduce yourself and this sweet kid?
I'm Suraj. I'm the founder of India Naturals. This is my sister. That's our brother here.
I'm Sanjana and Doobie.
He's 5 years, 3 months. He's a beagle, as you can see, and
Yeah.
he's been more stubborn than my sister and I have been to our parents.
The funny story is, it's in every Indian household, I feel like. From not touching him, now,
Not getting hold of him.
Yeah.
Not even getting.
no,
Now they don't care about us at all.
they are not caring. They have their routine, my dad and him. Morning, he waits at the door for them to come out of the room. 5 o'clock means he'll be knocking at their door, like yelling, and he's always following my mom around. For people who said we don't want dogs, we can't take care of them, what are you doing? To seeing them be so interested, like loving him so much, more than us, more than like anything else.
But I feel like that is honestly the story with pets.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely true. Like, what I always tell to people is that the entire world, not only India, is moving from pet ownership to pet parenthood and pet family kind of culture, right? And India, we are so culturally rich that pets become part of our every festival, routine.
Yeah.
So it's even more special. I see pets dressed up in kurtas.
It's so
I see so
cute.
many reels. These are like parents are first, they are completely against it and they're eating with it. It's crazy.
Like, even me, I was so extremely scared. I remember, I keep telling him now, I just wish I was more like not scared of dogs and he was a puppy because I would have squished him. Because now I'm like, oh my, like I feel so bad that I wasn't able to do that. Beginning, I was very scared. I didn't know how to pick him up. I was like, oh, will he bite me? Now I put my hand in his mouth and like, try me.
And the thing is, we actually grew up with pets when we were younger. So our parents had that really thing of missing, how our parents are. When they lose that one pet,
Yeah,
which
they
they
don't
love,
want it again.
then they don't want
They
it.
don't
They're
want
like,
that
"No,
go to
pain,
trauma,
yeah.
So that was a very big thing. So in our farm we had a few dogs like growing up. So I was always friendly with them, but then she was extremely scared.
Okay.
And in our house here in Bangalore we had a dog. We had 2 dogs and then one ran away, one got sick. Then our parents never wanted another
Like
dog.
my dad just couldn't. He's like, I can't.
As you talked about how Doobie came to your life and how it completely changed, how your family became a pet family. Can you share some very, very memorable, it could be funny or it could be anything, some moments which are like very close to you, very special to you?
Every day
Yeah, one
is so
thing and say,
funny.
Yeah.
what is this, what is that? But
Yeah.
then probably it's just from what I can just think of right now will be like a few things like how my dad just said no for the longest time for a dog, and when he came and now his go-to thing. So if everyone else in the house is not giving him his treats, his food, 8 o'clock happens and it's dinner time. He goes, puts his face here next
Like
to my
this
dad
thing, like-
and he's begging. And
My dad, who doesn't even touch dogs, has come. Now in secret he'll be like this. He'll be like,
I want to know a bit more about what's the routine, what do you guys feed Doobie, what do you get from outside for Doobie, what all do you feed him, the entire nutrition. How do you go about, feeding him? Because see, their nutrition demands are very different from us.
Correct.
So how do you go about that?
sort of a conservative traditional vegetarian.
So you're a vegetarian? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I am not, but then he has to because he eats at home, right?
Yeah.
I can eat outside. So that is the, a little bit of a catch that we have. So, I mean, I'm not really happy that we have to feed him a lot of vegetarian food or only vegetarian food in general, but then the general habits of his feeding are he eats some sort of a carb, which is probably rice or chapati or dosa or whatever he feels like eating or whatever.
Got it.
he doesn't
And
like
a
dosa.
bit of vegetables and an egg. So that is his meal for both the times, morning and evening. So
Got it.
more like we don't know how to add some sort of food which is good for him because we tried pedigree and we tried these other, various packaged food, but then we weren't ever happy with it. We didn't get good results in terms of
His health or
his vision in
physical.
general. Yeah, that's what. And plus the doctors also don't recommend it nowadays. They say
Isn't it? Most of the doctors, veterinary doctors, I've seen them recommending like
because
very
of-
bad food.
Yeah, the one who I go to now, she clearly said don't try to give these. Switch away from
I
those,
need
get
a
fresh
number.
food. I mean, I really think you should also
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know they seem younger. It's maybe a different thought in general, but then that was one thing that was there in my head.
That's why I'm like, when I was looking at these three, I'm really keen on looking at the back and seeing what is in it. And the ones that they get at home, my cousin gets them, and we're like, okay, give now.
Okay.
And this guy won't let us be.
Very interesting. Now you talked about that, you look at the back of the trees and everything. Since you guys are putting duty on majorly home cooked food is what I see. Whenever you get a treat or something, how do you make a decision? How do you pick up a certain treat and how do you think that okay, this is the treat I'm getting for duty?
For dogs, whatever it is, like they are very picky in sort of what they want, because I feel like even though he eats everything he wants to, he likes a few things better. Right? So that sort of comfort when you're taking him outside, you need some treat to just keep him in control. Or when he's not listening to you, you need that bit of a treat. So that time he wants his favorite one. He won't want that, the new one that you're trying out or the healthy one or whatever. So in terms of the ingredients and everything, I feel like it is pretty important, because nowadays we look at what we're eating. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
So you are not going to go. How many times do you see a normal person just going and buying whatever that's there? I mean, who can afford it? I'm not talking about people who can't afford it or anything, but then if you can afford it, you're going to pick the best sort of food for yourself. So that is basically the logic. We or any pet parent now who can afford it is going to think about it, because now it's not pet ownership as you just mentioned.
When we were before he came, it was anything could fall on the ground and we would not pick it up instantaneously. Now my thing is that is it going to reach him any food wrapper or any kind of food with whatever I'm giving him, whatever fruit I'm giving him, whatever anything I'm giving him, I'm always on duty. I'm can we eat this? Can we eat this?
Okay, so you search a lot on
a lot. Yeah, and I'm okay, I don't look at one thing, I look at 10 different things and I'm okay, maybe this is okay. And then I'll somehow be okay, one piece I'll feed him, see what happens, and then we'll see how we go about it from there.
See, I might go to the internet, I might watch a few videos on YouTube or XYZ, whatever it is, talk to someone like you, call you and ask, can I do this or no? That is available for me, okay, fair. Now if my parents were there, they're not going to care, they're just going to be I'm eating it, it's fine for me, here you take it. So my parents also might be a little more educated, but then now say the helps at home, people who are taking care of him, maybe who take him for a walk, the people on the road that he meets, they'll just be here, eat it, what's wrong? Parle-G biscuit is known as dog biscuits, right?
Yeah, that's so sad.
And that is not good at all. Now you see outside bakeries, you'll see a lot of dogs with only Parle-G biscuits outside, and they're really bloated, and they clearly have some liver or kidney damage, which they can't complain, they can't come and tell you anything, but then we just don't know about it. There should be some sort of, at least a place which is maybe a website, maybe a portal, maybe a community.
Something to address this knowledge.
Yeah, at least someone who will tell you what is good, what is not. And then most of the times again it's going to get redirected towards who's benefiting from it, and it's going to come from.
Dogs don't need carbohydrates, right? Yeah. And people at home, they would generally feed them what they are eating. But because we have evolved from the apes, and these people or these kids have evolved from wolves. Our nutrition and appetite diets are very different. So dogs only need proteins and fats. So what is fats to us is what is carbohydrates to them. That's the biggest pitfall in this industry is from every perspective. If you look at from the government perspective, legal perspective, there are no norms. So as a brand, if I want, I can put anything in my packet and sell it as a good dog. I have seen, we analyze a lot of brands, we analyze a lot of products. We have seen duck dog food containing 3% duck and 97% duck. So,
market it
you can market it. So, let's say if I want to say that my dog food is ghee based, which is healthy, okay, let's say I can put 3% ghee, 97% dog shit, and still sell it as a ghee for dogs.
My God.
Okay, so you also talked about looking at ingredients and everything. How important is packaging for you when you pick up a certain product?
I came in, the first thing I was saying was that is so cute. I look at how it is. For me it is, for me personally, as Sanjana was also doing I'm into marketing and everything. So for me, when I look at some good product, I'm wow, it looks so pretty, to be associated with this would be something with a good packaging is something I would think of as well.
And I see, being an entrepreneur, having my own company which is based on e-commerce nowadays.
You totally understand.
I completely understand what you mean, because see, packaging itself does such a big job that we don't understand, because packaging is what the person sees, and since I'm in e-commerce, I don't have the opportunity to place the product in a store where they can come, experience it, blah blah, all of that is not even there. So it's about the user experience, right? End of the day, when a person receives that product, I look at it, and that feel that you get, that experience that you have when you're holding the product in your hand, that is actually pretty great, because if that's not a good experience, automatically you're off. Even if the product is good, you don't care. That feeling towards isn't there. That affinity towards making the second
Second
purchase
purchase
isn't there.
is not there. Yeah.
So all of that makes a big difference. And I mean, what you've done with your packaging is definitely a good job.
Keeping that idea that even if I don't buy it this time, my first eye is going to go into looking for this branding or this thing when I go into a store. So that is what is like essentially I like about your thing is that there's some unique and there's like that stands out.
I would say that packaging is the biggest misleading factor in the industry, and I don't feel shy about it. Like we at TailBlaze, we know that whatever ingredients you're putting in, we are actually selling it in the package. It's not marketed falsely because we are USFDA approved, FSSI approved. So you don't even need FSSI license for a doctor, but we have it. But this is the biggest pitfall in the industry, which it makes me sleepless for most of the nights. As I said, you look at so many products out there, and packaging influences so much that people end up picking up products which are looking very pretty, but without referring to the ingredients, without understanding. Okay, can I look at the ingredients? One, it's saying chicken, but what is the first ingredient at the back?
Now that you have kind of said that, where like you're saying that they claim for it to be chicken and it's like so much, so many other things. You're constantly thinking about like, okay, now are they lying to us? Is this going
Exactly.
to be good?
So packaging is the biggest lie in the industry. And I don't feel shy to say that because I don't want just people to pick my product up for packaging. Packaging obviously talks about your brand when you're not there. You cannot be everywhere. You cannot be in store. It communicates about your brand. But that should not be the whole or sole decision maker. But that's the biggest pitfall in the industry.
And I feel like one big thing people forget is with packaging, the more simple you keep, that's I think better because the simpler it is, the more honest you are. You're not writing a story around it. I love the fact that you guys literally just said use ingredients and whatever, the chicken
and nothing more.
That's it. And there's nothing else, related to it. It's simple, right? You're not saying I have this, that, and all of this is, making my product better. Nothing. You just say what is there, keep it minimal. I think that does the job right now because we're really looking towards finding that one product. We don't want those additives. We don't want those other things around it. So I think in the end, if you keep it simple and be honest to what it is, and you can convey the message, there's nothing like it, right?
I mean, see, honesty is, it's a lesson which is tough to, preach to anyone, right? Because there are no norms regulating this industry, right? So that's very sad. I really wish that all the brands and all the people who are involved in this industry, they start with being honest with themselves first. Because, these, they are very pure, but they can't speak. They're very voiceless. They can't tell, hey, mama, don't feed me this, it's done. And, even if it's junk, we love junk food, right? It's the same thing there. Is there any advice which you would want to give from your personal experience that this is what you should take care of while getting a pet or while raising a dog?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I tell anyone in terms of, having a pet is you need extreme amounts of patience in terms of everything because with, as you said earlier also, they don't talk. You don't understand them, but they understand you. They understand every single thing that you say.